Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear friends of the Dhamma, I was here a couple of days ago and we've had a talk, a discussion in a way, but we didn't have enough time for questions. So I volunteered that I would come back again to listen to those questions that are there and try to compose a few answers. But before we get to answering certain things, since the day I was here, I got the opportunity of finding it half a day to write something down. So I put together a little leaflet. Or I who disguise me as myself. I who disguised me as myself. So I would like to take about half an hour or so just to talk a little bit about this, right? So what does I mean? What does me mean? And who is this myself? So who would like to give me a little explanation as to who I am? Who is this I? Anybody?
It's conditioned phenomena. Conditioned phenomena.
Condition for?
Phenomena.
Phenomena, yeah. It's a condition of Dhamma. So, Buddha, were you born?
Right.
Were you born?
Yeah.
Who was born?
Me.
Me. I was born. Who was born again? I. Who was born then? I was. Buddha, who was born?
I was.
Who was born?
This condition.
When you ask the question as to who was born, everybody seems to identify that I was born. There was nobody else other than I who was born. Yeah? Everybody keeps saying, I was born, 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 and so there's only I in this world. If you ask a dog as to who was born, the dog will say, I was born. So, amazing, no? Sukhi, Sukhi. So now, when you begin to question the beginning is that I was born. So where was I born? Come. So where do you think I was born? To whom was I born? So suddenly this I is born in a fetus, in a mother. Yeah? Everybody as I was born into a fetus. And the fetus was there. Yeah? So I was born into this fetus and then I stayed there for a few months. And then what happens? They say that I'm born again, right? I was conceived or there was a confinement. So I was brought out. But when this I was born, I wasn't born on my own. I was always twinned with whom? Whom do you think I was twinned with? Well done. I was always twinned with me. Yeah? Why? I always make sure that me is benefited with everything I do. Whatever I do, it is for me. For me. So and when I am born, I am also born with for me. Now who is the bigger? The I or for me? Whom do you think is bigger? Amazing inside question now, right? Never have I seen this I, never have I investigated for me. Now everything is for me. For me, for me, for me. And for me must be greater than for another. Is it? Always, whatever that is for me must be greater than another. Bigger than another's. Yeah? More benefit for me. More profit for me. More for me. Who's saying this? I am. I am saying that for me must be bigger and greater. And now, after that, this me, whatever the outcome, either possesses or dispossesses it as mine or not mine. Yeah? So these are mine and these are not mine. And why they are mine or not mine is, for me is benefited with that. And who says that? I. Whom am I talking about, mother? Again? Bhante, every time you come, you speak about me. Do you think I'm speaking about Akka as well? Should I ask her? Whom am I talking about, mother? Buddha, whom am I talking about? Amazing! Amazing! Each one says that this Bhante is talking about me. Actually, I'm talking about myself. What I'm doing is I'm just talking about me who was born as I, and there was for me, and for me possessed and dispossessed so many things. I'm talking about myself. And you think that I'm talking about you. Because this is what life is. This is what is born. And this is who I am all about. So I, who is born to a family, right? Born in Australia or living in Australia now and doing something. And this is what Buddha asked each and every one of you to see. See this I who was born, who always benefits for me, that possesses and dispossesses things. So this is a disguise. This is the disguise I talk about. I who disguise me as myself. Now continues to do a lot of things. So inside that leaflet are lot of little snippets of things of what I am about. How for me is formed. How mine is possessed. Right? So it's not in Pali, it's in your own language for you just to read occasionally. And when you read, it'll dawn on you as to who this I am about. And not only that, the next question everyone should ask is, why am I so? If I am like this, why am I so? No? So first question is, why am I so wicked? Or is it the wrong side I've gone to? Or should I ask, why am I so kind? Is it why am I so kind or why am I so wicked? Which is the true statement? Wicked? So how wicked do you think I am? Little or a lot? Huh? Little? I'm happy for you to say little. How about the others? Amazing, no? So, this little I, who always looks things for me, look up, yeah? Who gain for me, has this little thing called the things I like and the things I dislike. Yeah? I am very simple. I am a few things I like, I am a few things I dislike, and I expect others to respect me with these likes and dislikes. Isn't it? Yeah? And do the others do so? Yeah? Yeah. When they feel like it, they respect the things I like and things I dislike, right? And they give me all the things I like. They avoid all the things I dislike. So life is happy. Is it happy?
Not always.
Eh?
Not always.
Not always. Okay. So what are the other ways that it is not happy?
When someone doesn't like what you like.
So what happens when someone doesn't like what you like?
They dislike you.
So they begin to dislike you as well directly, just like that, right? So, now is it pleasant or unpleasant?
Unpleasant.
Now what do you do with your anger? Do you just keep it or increase it? Increase it. And now what do?
You direct it at them.
You direct it at them, threateningly. He says, because you are kind or you are vicious.
It's vicious.
So how often do you think blame is put on the other?
Always.
Always there seems to be blame on another. I am never blamed. No? I am never blamed. Why? Me doesn't benefit by that. Yeah? This little me inside doesn't benefit by blaming me myself. No? So I have to somehow make up a stories to blame another. Lay blame on the other. And how good am I at that?
Very good.
Very good. Which grade did you learn to be this?
Any grade?
Yeah, from the time I was born, I am like this. I didn't have to go to school to learn this, and without even going to school, I've been the best at it. So I'm all about this. I'm all about the way I select the things I like, the way I select the things I dislike, and the way I set expectations on other people. I don't need any guardian to show me how to do this. So even Buddha was like this. Yeah. Until the realization came that there should not be blame on another. So he then began to develop his kindness and develop himself to being the Buddha. But he was also born a son like us, to father and mother. So this world is all about sons and daughters born to mothers and fathers. And it so happens, culturally, we make relations. Yeah? So if the same mother and father have had other children, they become brothers and sisters. And here starts the problem. Yeah? Wish she didn't come. No? What do you say? Wish she wasn't there. These are just the things that society now causes with my birth. With I being born, I am born to parents, and at times I am born to others in the family. At times I am born on my own and others are born to me. It doesn't matter what this transaction is. Hard. So I am supposed to know a lot of things. Yeah? And who teaches you? Who teaches you to be a son or a daughter? Or do you instinctively know how to be that? Yeah?
Parents.
Parents teach you. So, does all the parents teach the same value and quality? So then how come? There must be some universal thing, no? There must be some common thing, no, for us all to be the sons and all to be the daughters in this world. So this is why society and all of us have the nature of a need of a religion to bring some ethical existence, some moral rules. Yeah? So we try to abide by them. And most religions have very similar qualities. So they have principles to be adhered and lived with discipline. And there are certain etiquette of how to be, how to respect, what to do in society and things like that. And do we all abide by that? Or do you think that this little me seems to be a little bit more mischievous than that? Huh? Okay? Yeah. But every time a gainful opportunity comes, this little me seems to leave the principles aside, leave the disciplines aside, and be ill-disciplined without being ashamed or fearful of the consequences. Is it right? Yeah. This little me seems to be so easily weighed out of the principles. It only needs to see a little benefit. And me is the one who creates all these things. I on the outside is I'm what is called an actor or actress. I on the outside smile and be. Me in the inside does all these things. Yeah? So, now can you see, more and more you talk about this nature of I, me, mine, I, me, mine. You begin to see who you are. Yeah? And you begin to see why you are so. And why you are so is trying to find a beneficial outcome for me. Always. So, this is what Buddha says, that one should spend the most amount of time investigating. Why? This is the only thing that you could use to develop yourself being a better human being, a better person. Yeah? So you need to see the nature of how you've disguised yourself and what you're denying at the moment of the truth. So there's a conventional truth of what the society expects you to do, and there's what the absolute truth of what is actually existing as humanness. And this is what you need to see. Okay? So, we'll take a few questions and we'll just extend the discussion a little bit more. And I would like you to speak a little bit more. Because more you express yourself, more you ask or more you elaborate on yourself, more you see in yourself. And what I would like to do beyond this is just to talk about, because the discussion was specifically targeted to 18 to 30-year-olds. And I would like to talk about what society expects from a person who's gone beyond 18 and what it is to be 18. So, anybody who's under 18 at the moment? 1, 2, 3, okay. Others are all over. Okay. So, now, when you're over 18, or when you're 18, there are certain things that happen to us in society. And I would like to just indicate some of those things and understand how the spiritual life and the conventional life should gather and meet. So we'll talk about a little bit. So, anybody who has questions? Any questions, anybody? Up to now? Buddha, you had some questions the other day that we didn't answer that day, right?
Related to like 18, not being 18, it's just more of a role Buddhist sort of.
Yeah, that's okay. First ask about those questions.
One thing I don't like about being Buddhist, if it could be like something like that, is that like, we as Buddhists, like Sri Lankan Buddhists, we tend to like what I find within like my own like family and friends and stuff, like, we tend to sometimes condemn other religions, I find.
Yeah.
As in like, we think to ourselves, oh, we are Buddhists, we don't worship this God and we don't do all these meaningless things like in other religions, and like, I can find that it's not a good thing to say, because like, all religions like fundamentally teach the same thing,
Right.
And like, I was just wondering, like, is that a good way to, you know?
Yes. So first of all, Buddha is identifying that every religion teaches the same thing. Maybe it's a slight exaggeration, because each community has one understanding. So if you begin to understand what a family is about, the family is a group of people who have certain values, certain traditions, and have an identity in a heritage or a lineage. These heritages or these families then govern themselves into further bigger communities, and hence the nature of a religion and a caste and a creed is brought. Okay? So in this grouping of when people say, I want to take a belief in a religion, the nature of belief is the nature of the trust they have in the source that's been given. So with that trust of the source, you take on board whatever the morals and the ethics and whatever the architecture of that teaching is about. So in Buddhism, it is, I believe today, is that it is also a very conditioned existence of some curriculum that's been taught to you all about what the existence of Buddha and his teachings have been. It is not all of the Dhamma, because the Buddha's teachings are about every life that was born, and every human life for that matter, and how that human being is configured from there, or what their capabilities are, is what Buddhism or what Dhamma is about. Buddhism, I believe, is just an extract of this. So when you in a group, and your friends around Sri Lankas maybe, feel that way, maybe that you should be bold enough to say that one should not look down on another, nor should you find fault of another. If you take the morals, as a Buddhist, you are expected to follow 5 universal principles of not harming yourself or not taking others' lives, not taking anything that doesn't belong to you, not having any sexual misconduct, not saying anything that is untrue, and not to intoxicate yourself. From birth to death, these principles are common. They don't vary. You should not be doing so. End of story. Now if you take the 10 Commandments, even in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, all of this is still present. Though we are not aware of this in a moral in that way. If you read the Quran, they have what is called the 3 pillars. Again it says about the lying, about the killing, and about the stealing, not to do so. So each one of the religions do have a universal set of principles that they should be following. Right? So I believe, Buddha, that it is nothing other than a selfish motive that one uses to condemn another for what they are. Now, you and I can't change this world, but what you and I can do is for us to be who we want to be and begin to accept the others for who they are. As this is what Buddha may have told us. Don't find fault with another, right? Nahi verena verani sammanti kujata. So therefore one should not conflict with another. One should not have no dispute with another, but accept them for who they are, for whatever the beliefs they have. And you better yourself and just be. That's my advice. Because if you think that you have to go and correct your friends, then every time you make a friend, what will you be doing? Always trying to correct. Now if they cannot be corrected, what do you think happens to you? You feel angry, you feel tired. Now is it good to be tired? No. Already just being the son, just being his brother is bad enough, being tired, being one of those roles. So, try not to argue with your friends, but smile and be. And when asked, you say, this world is what it is, there are these people, all what I have to learn is to be with them for who they are. Yeah? What more can you do? Many a spiritual leader tried to change the world. But the world is what it is. The teachings are still present. But they couldn't change all. But they changed the majority. So morality today may be low, but it doesn't matter. You be the highest moral person and you learn how to adopt the Dhamma and adapt to the society with it. And that is the most important thing that you could do. And not trying to adjust another. Fair enough? So make life easy. Make life easy. Don't get lured into doing things that you feel is bad, you feel is wrong. So if you are a person who follows the 5 precepts, you follow the 5 precepts. Keep friends, and that's okay. And if if the friends are unable to keep the 5 precepts, see that for that, but don't participate with them. But you are friends with them for other reasons maybe. Other reasons. And those reasons may be more valuable and more important for your life. So it's okay to have them as friends. But don't indulge in what they're doing. What more could you do? Yeah? Now, to me as a monk, right, I have to keep company of the devotees. So now if I take the principle saying that, oh, Bhante, don't keep company with the people who lie. So how many people should I avoid now? Sorry? Everybody now. Now would it be good for me or you? No. So I say, oh Bhante, don't keep company with the people who kill. Now how many fall in the category? All of you? Yeah. So suddenly I may not be able to keep company with anybody anymore. Yeah? So I choose now to say that society is such that they have chosen the things that they want to do, that they like to do, that they need to do, that they have to do, that they are expected to do. So therefore, I must learn how to be with those people. Be patient, bear things up, and try to share something of the consequences if they continue to be so. But just because I keep company with people who lie, steal, drink, that doesn't mean I also have to do that, right? No way. And I count the days that I have practiced certain morals. Today becomes the 4,314th day that I am practicing what is called Vikala Bhojana, not having a meal after midday. Similar number of days that I practice what is called celibacy, having lived a celibate life. And each day is important for me. Why? What happens if I break it today? Where do I have to start tomorrow? Back from the start at 1. And how long will it take to come back in here? 4,314 days to go to come back to where I am today. And that is over 12 years. And I've lost 12 years of time. So when you become moral, the morals become quite strong. And the universal morals are a good thing to keep. So he says, don't use empty words. Have you heard of that? Pissuna vacha. So what are empty words? Swear words. What else? Just talking for no reason. So mind you, if you blame another person, what would that be? Full in content or empty in content? Empty. We spoke to Nangi. She likes something. Somebody comes and disrupts the likes. She gets unpleasant, she gets angry, she blames the other. But the other person is not to be blamed because she is the one who set the like. She is the one who selected the thing to like. If she didn't like it or didn't choose it as a like, she wouldn't have the experience. Right? So Buddha says that I am the cause of all what I experience. Yeah? So if I am born, I am causing myself to experience all the things I'm experiencing. So there's nobody else to be blamed. So the moment you lay blame on another, it is empty in content. It is empty in content. So how much of empty words do you think you would have spoken up to now? And do you know how finely blame is led? You know, how many of you use the word traffic for being late to an appointment? Yeah? What does late mean?
You're behind time.
Yeah, but when you now say that you are late or traffic bothered me coming here, what does that mean? All the people who got on the road before me obstructed me coming here in time. Isn't that what traffic means? Yeah? So now have you blamed the people who were on the road before you? Is it a good thing? No. So we don't even know how to consider some of the things we are saying. And we say empty words. So you make a promise to say that you are not going to make no empty words. But now you do not know what words make up emptiness. Why? We have not been taught to consider adequately. We have not been taught to consider adequately. So like this, one should take some time to consider my existence, this myself, and what this self is up to. So, how many of you feel that this self is in a competition? Anybody? Yeah? What sort of a competition do you think you are in?
Trying to make yourself, trying to feel that you're better than someone else.
Exactly. You always want to feel that you are bigger and better than another. And tomorrow just needs to be bigger and better. Yeah? So, now who are these others? Do you think they know that you're competing with them? No. Nobody knows that others are competing with you. You have made up your own competition, you have made up your own individual comparisons, and you're trying to do better. And what has happened now? Yeah, it keeps on going, it doesn't stop, and I'm tired about it. I'm tired running. When I shouldn't be running, but when I should be pacing. So interestingly, yeah, go on.
Just sorry to interrupt. With regards to that competition thing, is that something that society places in us, or is that part of the basic human condition?
Exactly. We will come to talk a little bit more about this. It is something that you create yourself, and maybe society influences you to create it that way. We'll come to this. Right? Just give this example. I retired when I was 48 from work. So when I retired, the first thing that a lot of my friends asked, so now what is it that you stop the rat race? How does it feel now that you stop the rat race? So what do you think my answer was? My answer was not talking about how I felt about the rat race. My answer was about that, don't think that I have stopped the race. I've only stopped being the rat. I am no longer the rat. So I'm not in the race that they have. I am now in a race for my enlightenment. I only have so much little time left, and my race is about getting to enlightenment and not about competing as a rat anymore. So I now need to pace myself. There's no race anymore, it's only a pace. So do you understand this now, Buddha? When I give you the answer that I have stopped being the rat and not started a race. So you need to start to understand as to what in me is causing me to run this way, to compete in this way, to be compared in this way. And the two conditions that are doing that is fear of failure and fear of blame. Fear of failure and fear of blame. And the fear of failure is nothing other than the expectations the other people are having of you. The failure is nothing other than a few benchmarks and a few expectations others have set on you. And when you are unable to achieve these expectations, now you are in difficulty. You have to run. So you are upkeep, or are you upkeep, or are you a nangi? Yeah, upkeep. Upkeep. Do you know the word failure? Why do you know the word failure?
I've experienced it.
Failure. So what needed to have happened for you to have failed? If you fell down, have you failed? No. Yeah, if you just fell down, would you have failed or succeeded? Yeah. But if you ask any boy who plays rugby and ask to fall, there's a way of falling, right? And if you fall right, it's a successful fall, right? It's all circumstances. The circumstances judge as to the achievement. So, it is what you compare yourself with that tells you whether you failed or whether you passed. So, in the comparison you made, you would have felt that you failed. But if you compare yourself with something else, then you would have been a success, a pass. So Buddha, one of the things to consider about this nature of feeling this stress, feeling this nature that you have to compete, is to change the way the words of success and failure are used. And you should try to associate yourself with the two words of accomplishment and the word achievement. So you accomplish something, and the outcome of accomplishment is always an achievement. And end of story. There's nothing more than that. And you are the one, how you recognize the benefit of the accomplishment and the status of the achievement that you have had. Yeah? You understand that? So, like this, I believe that all of you all should try to associate yourselves with a different vocabulary as well, I think, going forward. Some new words. Yeah? I've accomplished something and here's my achievement with the accomplishment. Neither a success or a failure. It's just what it is. But some people around you may not want to accept that. So, but you need to say that to yourself. To slow yourself down, to pace yourself down before you get to burnout. I say this for a lot of reasons, right? I have a 26-year-old son, and he's been working for 3.5, 4 years now. And within the 4 years, he has got 6 promotions. 6 promotions. And today, I believe that he is an assistant director of something in a health trust. And it has come to such an extent that I get an email from him every 3rd, 4th day. Yeah? And every word in that is exhausting. Reading of how he's experiencing the successes that he identifies. Yeah? And he's come to burnout soon. Very soon. Though his performances are such that others recognize his capability and push him up there. Because he's at the moment he's got the potential. But what others don't understand is for him to succeed or sustain those statuses is a greater challenge. Why? Everybody else now is in his posts. And the nature of having to sustain this much of competition from others who are fighting for his post is hard. Why? They have learned some of his techniques. So now they also know the techniques. So he has to learn new things, new ways. So he asked me. He says, Bhante, can you please give me some other advice? I've got an objective like this to set something up. I think he's doing what is called training development. Right? Training development. And this is not just training development as ordinary training. This is for even medical consultants, of how consultants should be trained on new techniques, on new tools and things like that. He just come up with some good strategy. And he's burnt out. And I know that most children that I've met up to now are at the verge of burnout in certain role, in certain tasks. Stressful. Stressful for them. Because of the nature of this, what I was talking about as competition. The way you feel the competition, the way you expect, you compare yourself and the way you feel that you need to succeed. And when in society, if you don't achieve certain things, as in how the society sees as success, that's nature of the being condemned in a way, right? And that's not a very pleasant experience. Yeah? You get rejected. Do you get rejected as well? Kept out, outcasted. Is that right?
People look down on you.
Huh?
People look down on you.
Yeah, people look down on you. They expected you to go to one university and you don't go to that named university. You didn't succeed. Bad. But this is what society is. So one needs to learn how to live in a society like this, how to be with people like this. And if you don't learn to do this, then you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out. And I'm telling you, maybe that in a way Australia is a much milder society in competition. Much milder than Sri Lanka. Now if you don't go to international school in Sri Lanka, you're looked down again. And in that school, if you don't go to certain clubs, you're looked down again. Yeah? So there are clubs. I think there's a rowing club. I don't know where the lake or the boats are, but it's just a club. And if you're not party to that, then you're not in that class. Amazing. So competition is much, much greater than over there. So what you first have to appreciate is not trying to be too big, right? But to be yourself at a pace that you can go. Get to a pace and be able to go at that pace and be accepted for who you are. So this is about the declaration you make to other people as to who you are. Now, I know recently a family came to talk about certain things, and the father was saying, if Putta put his head to doing certain things, that he will be 10 times better. Yeah? So the father is expecting this boy to apply so many things to get better. So but then I asked him, what are your achievements up to now, Putta? Oh, I'm the best in maths, I'm the best in science, I'm the best in class, I'm the best in the whole grade. There's nothing more that he gets, there's no competition for him. No, I'm the best. So now that I'm the best, what more do you want me to be doing? What is the next target to go? I have nobody to compete with, nobody to compare with. What more effort do I have to put? Yeah? So then the father says that he should be sent to a new school where the grades are higher, the targets are higher, the competition is better. Now what happens? He says, I don't want to leave my friends and go. I want a life where I can, achieve something. I want my friends as well. Now where do you draw the line?
His dad was forcing him to get better.
Well, that is true with that he should understand how to get better. So I explained to him that being the first or being the best is not a winner. A one who improves day in, day out is a winner. Yeah? You don't have to be the first or the best. You just have to be a person who improves all the time. And a person who improves is always the best. It's always the winner. So there are certain things that you need to inculcate inside you with the Dhamma to say how to survive, how to be in this life that I'm born to. Fulfilling the accomplishment and fulfilling the achievements to satisfy the expectations of another. So you need to declare these quite frequently. I would like to ask you, how many of you have written down all the things you like and things you dislike? Have you? Would you like to do that exercise?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I recently went to a house and the families were there. There were 3 families. So we all took a piece of paper, folded it up and started writing likes and dislikes. So suddenly, one of the little daughters had written down certain things and the mother eavesdropped on this little child's sheet of paper. And then the mother is asking, "Do, I thought you liked this." She said, "No, I don't." Right? So, some interesting things that his daughter had written. "I don't like when my mom is doing too much housework and not attentive to me. I don't like my mom raising her voice to me or my malli. I don't like my tati working on the car too much." Yeah? Simple things. But to them, they were their things that they liked and they didn't know how these things were affecting the children. Right? And then dislikes, right? "I don't like spaghetti, right? I don't like too much rice." Now what too much meant, only the child knew. But interesting to see, then the husband and wife decided that they want their own sheets to exchange and read. The 2 of them read. And they both looked at each other. Why? Both had misread each other's likes and dislikes. Have you ever, I'm sure that you all have just demonstrated certain things that you like and dislike around you. But you all haven't done that. Mali, would you be able to find some A4 sheets of paper with some pens, please, Mali? Is it inside the pocket?
It's kind of locked everything, but I'll try.
Hasn't the Bandhas come yet? No.
Oh, yeah,
If they have, please. It'll be a good exercise, right? Just take 15 minutes as a meditation to learn to write something up. To write something up and consider what it gives you. Because once you have opened up your inner self, I'll tell you, it is such a pleasant experience. Such a pleasant experience. And because it's going to be personal and it's going to be your sheets of paper unless you decide to share with anybody else that you choose to, right? You could write something down and open up inside. Because longer that you are covered up and you are pretentious with it and you're secretive with it, harder it is. And constantly I write things down, the dislikes of another person even. I dislike about this, I dislike about this, I write it down, leave it and go. So for others to see if they need to. I'm okay with others seeing. Why? The dislike is mine and it is my responsibility to adjust. Is it? The total responsibility of what is in that sheet is mine and mine to adjust. And I will take my own time to deal with it. But I just want to tell others and make the declaration that that is what it is. And that I'm putting the effort to correct it and adjust it. Now, when you take the likes and dislikes and start working with it, you are actually working with your humanness of this I who crave for things. I who crave for things. And if you can make one little adjustment in the craving, what sort of a person do you become? A better person or a worse person? A better person. A better person. And would being a better person improve all relationships? Yeah, it does. So Buddha, you just need to know the effort one needs to put, right? The smallest effort to bring about the biggest gain. So I don't talk much about the Pali, but I talk about the physicalness of what the Buddha said, of what to do. So he says, Piyehi vipayoga dukkho. Pali words. Piyehi is the endearment, the things you like. Vipayoga, vipa is to take it away. Dukkho has suffering. So the moment you are distant from the things you like or disrupted with the things you like, it's unpleasant. So lesser the number of likes you have, greater the pleasantness in your life. Why? It's okay. It's okay for others to disrupt anything. So the nature of enlightenment is to bring about this nullification, the neutrality with the number of likes you have, reducing them. Same with the dislikes. Have lesser things to dislike. Have the lesser things to want and don't want. Have lesser things to need and don't need. Pleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling in life. Yes, I.
There's a question about when you're talking about I and me. Like, you know how you said me is larger, so the me like inside you, is it like the me that someone controls your feelings too?
Yes, Buddha. Me who controls the feelings, me who controls everything that brings me a gainful outcome is this me. So if you're going to get something and you experience, that experience has a gain in you. And that was created by this me, for me.
So if you're not love was like being like you're trying to walk, would it be like yourself inside, like doing it?
Yeah. And you must learn how to control this me, not to feel that way. And it will work out because you need meditation to learn that. Yeah? So can you see, these are things that every child should be trained to do, Buddha. We all have feelings, right? We all have, sadness and we all have happiness. We have all pleasantness, unpleasantness. And with these variants that are there, we should be told how and what we need to do to overcome many unpleasant experiences, right? Now we know some of them. You sit like that for a while and what happens to the legs? What happens to the legs? They start to hurt. So what do you do now? Oh, who taught you? Yeah, yourself learned that if you change your posture a little bit, you start a new cycle of comfort, so I can carry on. Now I'm happy. I don't need to be told and told to move around. And maybe at times I've been told to slow down because I'm running like a headless chicken. But that's another matter. So, how many of you have experienced hunger? And what do you do? You eat. You fill your stomach as much as you can, heavier the better, because hunger doesn't come for a long time, right? So the best thing is rice. Lot of starch, and you feel full. And feeling full is a pleasant experience because that nature of hunger doesn't come to you. So you learn how to suppress the nature of suffering, of hunger. So there are a lot of things like that that you know how to avoid. But there are some things you do not know yet. So now, is anger a pleasant experience or unpleasant experience? Say it again. So why are you angry? If you say that anger is an unpleasant experience, Buddha, why do you still feel angry? Angry that Malli did this and Ammi did this and why do you think you still remember all the things that they did in the past and want to hold them against? So you know that anger is a bad experience, but you remember all the things that they used to do that you didn't like, that you weren't expecting, and you're holding them against them to get your own back. Is it good? No, you know it is not good, but you still do it though. Yeah. So how many people have told you not to get angry? Many a person has said not to get angry, right? Have you listened to them?
Tried it.
But amazing, when they give you something, a reward or toy or present or gift or whatever, you listen to them, right? And you take it. Without a fail you take, right? Yeah. So if it's a gainful thing for you, you take it. You don't ask a question even. And at times even without asking you take it. But here they give you, say don't get angry. But you don't want to accept it. Amazing, no? When you when you question yourself like this, a lot of things come out as to why I'm like this, and why I tolerate some of these things, you know. Why do you think we tolerate this? Yeah, so Buddha says, Akkodena jine koda. Koda is the anger, nature of aversion. He says, always try to suppress the anger and replace it with non-anger, kindness. Asadum sadhunajine. He talks about the nature of fairness. Always be fair and remove the unfair. Jine kadariyan dhanena. Always be generous with yourself, generous with your kindness, and never be miserly. Satchena alikavadinam. Always be with the absolute truth and not with any made up story. Not with the fabrication. Not with the fantasization. And we are very good to live with the fabrication and the fantasization. We make up stories to defend ourselves. Right? To get away from things. So Buddha has experienced it, and Buddha has said certain things that are relevant to us in our existence. And he said it in small words, he said it in long discourses, he said all these things. So are we now prepared to listen? Do we see the benefit that Buddha saw? We do?
Wouldn't it be nature that you remember like some things that happen and get angry?
Yeah.
Nature,
Nature
like
of what?
like you.
Your own nature? Amazing, no, Buddha, because I don't see that, no. So then that can't be the nature, no? Now if you're doing something, I don't see what you're doing. I only see the good bits that you're doing. Can you all do any bad? No. So I only see the good bits that you're doing. I go out of my way. Now these days, in the house that I'm living in, just around the corner in Narwal, we've been going through exercise and we've been penalizing anybody who used the word no at the beginning of a sentence. No, Aki, no, it's not like that. No, Nangi, it's not like that. Do you know that? Good? No, Nangi, yeah? So what are you saying? Yeah, Nangi, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not that. Listen to me. No. So the nature of suppressment. So this is your selfishness. Send half through the back row, I think, Buddha. Send half of them through the back row. Thank you. So, now, can you see? Your selfishness is not willing to accept what the other person is saying. So, first thing you do is no. Discard their statement and now state yours. So every time somebody says this thing, I was charging them $100. $100. And with one individual, I had clocked up $50,000. Rich monk. Amazing. Amazing when you begin to ask and just consider as to what is happening with us and why we are like this. If you think you want 2 pages, you may keep 2 pages if there is enough to go around. To those of you who did. And it takes a little while to get to the trend of writing, right? But once you start, it goes on and on and on. Right? So fold the paper in 2. That's the best thing to do. So then you see the things lengthwise, I think. Lengthwise. Lengthwise? Right. Okay, so let's take a little bit of about 15 minutes, right? Till the alarm goes now, right? I've said about 15 minutes, right? What I would like you to do is to write down what are the things I like and what are the things I dislike. And in this, you can write about your personal things and write about any other relationship you have and of them. So be free. And it's, by the way, it's very confidential, right? When you finish, you can put it in your bag or pocket or whatever. But I just would like you to expose it to yourself. So I would like you to bring your thoughts and write it out. Just be open. Okay. So you had a fair amount of time to look within you, right? Was it pleasant or unpleasant? Some are pleasant, right? So now that it's all on paper, right? Buddha said, Chetanaham Bhikkave Kammam Vadami. Now that you've written it down, it is as good as exposed. You don't have to show the piece of paper. You brought it out. No? So you now know the things you don't like, you express what you don't like, you express the things you like. So there's some inner relief in a way. Huge weight out of the shoulders. Can you see? Already. It only got from pen to paper. But some things that you didn't want to say, didn't know how to say, has come out. Some, not all. At least if one comes out, feels good. Right? So this is what is called a removal of a defilement. When they talk about defilements, in some books they talk about cankers. This is about the nature of removing a defilement. You remove something that you dislike and adjust it accordingly. Expressing and exposing yourself in that way. So, as often as you need, try to take a piece of paper and write this down. Write this down. As you need to do more than just knowing it, to write it down. Yeah? Now, if ever you got the opportunity to come and spend some time with me, I would like you to bring a sheet like that of your likes and dislikes. As half the discussion is gone. And then we can talk about other good things. Right? First we have to remove some of these dislikes from the inside and get space inside to get the good things in. To get the good things in. Okay? So, leaving the discussion in this way, what I would like to do, right, is to go and just talk a little bit about the nature of what it is to be 18. Yeah? So, how many of you have gone beyond 18? Okay, so what was it to be 18? What was it to be 18? Pleasant or unpleasant? Okay. Mali?
It was alright.
It was okay. Good party. Was it a party? No. 21st party? Not yet. Coming. Yeah, looking forward to it. Somewhere. So, what do you think 18 was all about?
There's no sudden change in yourself or anything like that just because another day passed in your life and suddenly you're 18.
Yeah.
Like, you're still who you were the day before.
Exactly. But some certain people say that you are allowed to do a lot of things.
There's no responsibility.
There is much more responsibility that you take on that day because you take some new roles. You take a legislative role. You are a person who can legally vote. You are a person who is now could be legally charged. You are a person who can now drive. So you are given the responsibility to get on the road with a car, right? And the other safety is in your hands, right? So like that, huge number of new responsibilities with the role is given. But I was told that the Australian government also allows children to start drinking on that day. Is that right? So the days before that you couldn't drink. tea, coffee, juice and things? No. Sorry?
Well, most kids here don't care about that anyway. Most kids here don't care about that.
Yeah.
They just reach it.
Yeah.
If they can get something before they're 18.
Yeah. But the principle of not taking alcohol and intoxicating yourself in a spiritual sense is just that. And whether you are 18 or 19 or 17 doesn't matter. The principle should be the same principle. And if you think that the Australian government allows you to drink, then it should allow you to kill as well that day, right? But you will be legitimately tried for it. What have you steal? There's no freedom to steal. There's no freedom to lie. There's no freedom to do anything in that way. Your principles are still the principles. So 18 doesn't mean that you are given a freedom from your principles, from your disciplines. That you could be ill-disciplined individual in society. Does it say that? Does 18 say that? No. And I think you are more of a responsible person being 18. And most children by 18 go to university over here. Yeah? So what does university life bring you? Further responsibility as an individual to look after your own self, right? To be more sufficient in a way. And maybe to certain people, a bit more self-sufficiency. Earn your living. Pay your board. Is that right? And is it easy again? No. So, if you just consider your infancy to 18, in those 18 years, you go through adding or subtracting siblings into your life. Right? Then you go through adolescency and an experience of new experiences in your body. And you come to 18 and suddenly you have this legislation looming all over you. Right? As a responsibility in society. And now you have to go challenge yourself in a university where you have to live outside home. So you don't get the comforts that home gives you. Is it right? So you have to go and stay in a boarding or a school, college hostel or something like that. Now in that nature, when you are about that age, the nature is that you may be attracted at another. Or others may be attracted to you. So now what to do? Ignore them or deal with them? Huh? Yeah, you have to deal, you have to do something about it. If you like somebody, then you have to express it. If others like it, they may express it. And you need to know how to manage it. Whatever the ethics you have to say yes or no or make commitment to a friendship. And never commit yourself beyond until you're ready. And they push you. The nature of possessiveness is such that another person who's attracted to you may be attracted and get you to commit to certain things. And it's hard. Why? You don't have all the credentials, you don't have all the needs, you don't have all the criteria to make that decision yet. Yeah? And then university education is different to school education, right? Yeah, because self-study is such, there's no more a competition to get the highest mark. You just need to make sure that you get out with a degree and a certification. And it doesn't matter what mark you get for that. And if you can get a second upper or a first class, it's even better, right? So that's just the expectation and set marking. But you don't know what knowledge you gather out of that. So now, halfway through your university career, now that we've become 20 or so, you need to understand what sort of a career you want out of that. So you need to have set a career anchor of some type. Yeah, I'm studying this sort of thing, I'm going for a degree in this level, in this way, therefore I should be getting a job of this matter, in this sector, in this area, at this position. And now what to do? Start looking for jobs somewhere. Start looking for opportunities in a way. And these opportunities, you can't find it anywhere nationally, because you have to find something that is, economically justifiable, right? That you can stay at home and go, or be with in a cheap area where you can get a good house, a good apartment, or whatever. So suddenly new roles begin. So what happens after a degree? Can you just sit back and relax? Or you have to go and find a job? You have to go and find a job. New role again. So now after you become, got your degree or whatever, 21, 22, 23, trying to force other people who want to be friendly and want you to commit towards everything. You now need to go and find a career. And that also you need to find it in a way that makes economic sense. That whatever the wage you get is adequate to pay for your lodging, pay for your transport, pay for your food and other things. Hard. So now you expect your parents to do some supporting, right? But they relinquished you. Why? They are so tired looking after you till you're 18. Yeah? Amazing. Amazing. So now, say you're 25, right? So you've gone through university, you've got your career, you've now found a job, you're now living out on your own, right? Trying to earn some money. And now what's happening? You found a friend, you found a partner, acceptable from home or not? Okay? Most cases the criteria doesn't make it. So now you have to satisfy to sell your idea of whom you want to be partnering with. Yeah? And it's not easy. Hard. Because they have certain expectations, they have invested so much of time on you, and you are expected to do certain things. New role, new task, new thing to do. Okay? So say, now that you agree and now you're going into your 25, 26 or whatever, now you're expected to partner with them. Settle down with them. Something new to do as well now. Now what do you think happening at home all this time? Are the parents growing younger or older? So if you are born 25, 26, 28, what do you think the parents are? In their either late 40s or early 50s or going somewhere there, right? Going through their menopauses and things like that. How do you support them? Do you know, as daughters, sons and daughters, how to support them? Of the psychological changes that they are going through, the hormonal changes they are going through inside them. All what you're being is just a irritant at home at times. Not accepting them, not supporting them, not doing the things they ask to. But suddenly your role changes. Your responsibilities change. The way you look at them, the way they expect you to support. And now maybe that some parents are already ill by now. Yeah, rheumatic arthritis, the diabetes, the stress-related illnesses. Yeah, why they've gone 50 years and they're stressed out, they're burnt out, trying to keep you aboard. And now they've held you to ransom with the obligatoriness, saying how much they have to put up to bring you alive, to protect you in this society. Yeah, are you hard up? There is no words to explain, Buddha, of how better to manage yourself and judge yourself. And now if you get married and then have to do a job, you have to now have more than one home to look after. And there's whatever you inherit as well, right? From your parents. You may say, I don't want them. But this is their right to give you. It's their entitlement to give you. And maybe that when you're 30 that you're now having children as well. You've taken on a father role, mother role. Working your days out. Now you're gone 5 years working. Yeah? So for somebody who's 20 years old now, 20 years old today, how many more Sundays to go to being 30? It's only 520 more Sundays, Buddha. 500, like today is a Sunday, no? 520 Sundays away, you're going to be 30. Sundays come, Sundays go, right? Yeah. Sundays come, Sundays go, and from 20 to 30, 10 years, 520 Sundays, you are expected to finish off your education, university, get a certification, find a partner that is adequate for your parents, find a job, go start doing that job, get married, look after the parents as well, and start a family. All these are new roles in the next 10 years, in the next 520 Sundays. Has it dawned on you, do you? No. I still feel that little kid, right? But the responsibility is yours. The society expects you now to know all the skills that are needed for you to take on board these rules. And maybe our parents may not have known all the things to do right. And what we've now salvaged from what they did may not be adequate for you to do some of those rules. So shouldn't you wake up? Shouldn't you wake up with her to society and your responsibilities for the next 20 years? Because you all are the ones who are going to make society in the next 30 years. You all are the ones who are going to take the technology change for the next 30 years. Yeah? You all are the ones who are going to make the next generation in the society. Representing Sri Lankans in a way, representing Australia in a way. Yeah? Is it a big responsibility? And can you see the number of dislikes in the sheet at the moment? And if you haven't adjusted those dislikes, Buddha, do you think you are going to have a pleasant experience? No. Can you see where you are going at the moment? So Buddha, there should be not many dislikes in your life. It must be a pleasant thing, because all these dislikes are the things that are happening already to you. These are the things that I am trying to avoid at the moment. And society is creating even more dislikes for me. Am I trying to paint a gloomy picture, or am I trying to wake you inside? Am I trying to wake you inside or make a gloomy picture? Aputu? Can you see? For the first time there's something that's awakening inside, right? So, how many of you know how to run a house and home? Not many hands up. But you know? Do you do some work at home? You? Yeah? So, if you are living at home now, and if you are anything beyond 18 or so, I would have expected for you to have taken some responsibility at home and start learning how to do certain things. Yeah? Do you know what to do when the television breaks? Other than to complain and get it replaced by the parents? You know how to complain, yeah. But should you be complaining, or should you now know how to go to Yellow Pages or whatever, or the internet to find a repairer, to somebody to come and look at it, to see whether it could be repaired or it needs to be replaced? And if it needs to be replaced, do you know what sort of replacement you want that the parents could afford? Shouldn't you take this responsibility? You should. And there are enough and more things you need to do, because in 5 years' time, that's exactly what you will be doing. And guess what you get it wrong if you get it wrong in front of an outsider? It's bad. But isn't it better doing it at home now and learning how to get it done? And if you make a mistake, you only do it in front of your own family and not in front of an outsider. So Putta, we are losing the best opportunity to take the responsibility on of trustworthiness. Right? Be trusted with all the things around this house that you are to inherit. It's yours. You have an entitlement to all the things that's home, right? So take on board that entitlement. Take on board that responsibility. Win the trust of another. Be trusted with your actions. As that is what a person who is going to the society has to have as the first quality. That should be the foundation that you build the rest of the skills within you. You need to be trusted by another person at work, and in society and other places. If you don't have the trust, Buddha, end of story. Today, you all don't carry much trust at home, right? You think you are trusted at home? Do you think you trust others at home? They haven't allowed you to do half the things you liked. Hence anger today. In comparison, seeing other children and the way they get their freedom, you're not allowed to do half the things. So you become just an introvert, screaming inside and closed up, gone into a shell in a way. Don't want to come out and participate in the work at home even. Because it's such a hard time. But if you look at the next 520 Sundays, hey, I am going to be everything in 520 Sundays, right? I must have the skill. And university education, a degree, none of these things are going to give me the skill yet. Unless I do it, unless I run a home, unless I take the responsibility of running a home, unless I have to be trusted with that responsibility. So how many of you can cook? No. As a daughter, you're not expected to cook, right? Are you all expected to cook? You are? Sometimes. Do you like cooking?
I do.
Yeah. Now, I know that I used to love cooking. I used to love cooking. Only thing with that, I didn't like cleaning up. And I was a little bit of a messy person. So now what happened? Was I tolerated in the kitchen? Nah. I wasn't tolerated in the kitchen. I liked cooking. I knew how to cook. I was a good cook. I just said occasionally, you spill a bit or whatever, and I don't wipe it then and there. It used to leave a stain. And the stain was too bad, you know. My culinary skills were poor because of that one stain. But today, whenever I go to a house for my dana, I make sure that every child in the house has participated in making something. Even a cup of tea. Even if they had to cut a slice of bread and apply some butter and bring it in a dish to me, I expect them to do so. Participation. And doesn't matter if the bread is cut thin or thick, it doesn't matter. That's down to me to decide how to consume it. But it's for them to be generous with it and be participant in that transaction. So most houses I go, I get jelly. Why? That seems to be the easiest pudding to make. There are times that I get pancakes, there are times I'm okay with it. But I just want every child in this world to participate in the nature of knowing how to be responsible and be trusted with that responsibility. And Buddha, money can't buy this. Money can't buy trust, money can't buy the responsibility. It has to come within you. It must have a nature of responsibility inside, and some fear factor needs to wake you up inside. Yeah. And pointless being angry with your guardians as they were even more frightened than you, thinking that you will go astray. So all what they knew was to constrain and constrain and constrain and give you the least amount of space to go, because you would have done lesser mistakes. See the other side of it. Anything that you did would be blamed on them. And they didn't want that blame. They didn't want to be wrong. So fair enough that they did that way. Respect the way that they are being blamed by society today. And that is just the way that society sees you. But if you have taken the responsibility to behave in a way, no blame would go on them. So Buddha, one needs to see what time is left for you. Now, this world is an impermanent world. Everything is changing. And you would know what would have changed in 10 years. You only need to take a comparison of some of your parents. Right? They may not be okay with all the technology that has come. But you give a 2-year-old a mobile or whatever, they would know all the functions that are there. This is just the nature of how life is evolving and how technology is evolving, how children are adapting to all the things that are there. So there's nothing right or wrong, it's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that one is superior and the other is not. Doesn't mean that the children are more superior and the parents are lesser. It's not. It's just the way that you all are born to and what you're born with. Isn't it? It's the time that you're born. Now, when I was born, as a kid, I only had freedom and free time. It doesn't matter what time I woke up, we have enough time to walk around and do whatever. We had time to walk to school. Right? We did whatever we could do in school to study, and we had enough and more time to play. Sports was the only thing. We went to school for sports. And we came home and played a game. And homework was just one of those parts of the things in a day to do. So our youth was spent outdoors. Today, the time you have spent outdoors is very little, right? Everything is spent on indoors. And maybe that to get out of trouble, it's spent inside the room, either sleeping or playing on a computer, or listening to some music. Why? More you get involved in the chores, greater the amount of blame comes on you, right? Yeah? Sad, Buddha. Sad of how each one of you all have made yourself to be like that at home. But you all must be willingly taking on the responsibilities around you. As time is so little. Time is so little. So from 18 to 20, 18 to 30, these 12 years, these 600 odd Sundays that you have, are the roles that are the most important for the rest of your life. Why? These new roles you take on board, you carry them for the greater part of the life from here on. Greater part of the life that you have, you take these new roles with you now. And they need more skill. Now, as a daughter or a son, you may not need to drive. But the moment you go beyond 18, as a son, you are expected to drive. Isn't it? Aren't you expected to drive? Are you? Yeah. The moment you become 18 and you are still a son or daughter, you are still expected to now drive as well as a son or daughter. So as time goes on, the skills you need to acquire and demonstrate gets larger and larger and larger and larger. And maybe that the reward you get may be the same or lesser at times even. But this is what I am expected to do. And this is an investment I have to do. Right? So life is all about relationships, and within the relationship, living what is called a role, R-O-L-E. Right? So the relationship with parent-daughter, that's a role of a daughter or a son. And in that, as time goes on, different skills are required. Right? Now what happens if one of your parents are ill and are bedridden? What do you think as a child you're supposed to do? You have to start being an attendant and a nurse over and above being a daughter or a son. Yeah? Amazing. Recently I was counseling a mother who had lost her son. He was 27, I think. And interesting talking to that mother, because she says, Bhante knew that my son was sick for 10 years having cancer and he passed away, and I was expecting to do so much for him, and now that he's not there, I feel so unworthy as an individual, as a mother. Now, out of 2 sons, one's gone, only one's there, and for me I feel unworthy that my younger son was there for me to do, he's no longer there. I'm missing a role in my life. Whatever I was to do to my younger son, I can't fulfill it no more. And that void was so much that was causing her so much grief. I've taken 3 days to counsel her, and I'm very happy with the outcome that she's having at the moment. It's about talking about the role and the skill. So life now, right? If you continue as a partner, you'll find a person who is more intimate than another friend. Yeah. So you will have what is called a friendship. You will have what is called a partnership. You will have what is called a word going out of me. Companionship. Yeah? So with certain people you have friendships, certain people you have friendships and partnerships, with certain people you have friendships, partnerships and companionships. Just get more intimate and more intimate and more intimate with individuals. And you need to know what commitment you make with them. So you've got to live by their 5 precepts and your models, and at the right time to make the right commitment. And not to commit unnecessarily. And you don't need to. But you must also understand that it's only some part in your life that you get to meet these friends, to partner with. It doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen all the time. There are peaks and troughs of this as well. So at the right time you need to find it. the partner, that is right as well. And it is something that the home front need to talk about. As anything beyond 18, there are other options of you being friendly with them, they being friendly with you, and you can't stop another. Yeah? Their pressures, their stresses, their needs may be forced upon you. So take some time to understand what the next 520, 600 Sundays are to bring you. And count life in Sundays. Try to count, yeah, because you only get 52 Sundays in a year, right? You only get 52 Sundays in a year. And how quickly does a Sunday come and go? Very quickly, too quickly. And 52 is nothing, right? 52 is nothing. And now when you start working and things like that, right, there are different ways to start measuring your life as well. Because you are expected to get promotions out of that, you are expected to get more money out of that, you are expected to compete with them, you are expected to then get more professional skills as an increase of proficiency. So like that, there are so many stresses in the competition of the working life. So, being 18 is one thing, right? Growing up is a further matter. And it's not easy growing up. And you long to be 18, right? To get away from that suffocation. The intruded life you have. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. When the moment you get a car or whatever, there's some comfort inside that. Freedom to move. So those of you who have gone beyond will understand. Right? So Aki, you understand what I'm saying? You're working now? Not yet. Still in campus? Okay. How many more years to go?
This year.
This last year, final year. Very good. How many more are in the final year? Campus? How many are working? Okay. So you all are still in school or in campus somewhere, right? Okay. So, any questions for you to ask? Do you go from home or easy? You didn't want to leave home. Home comfort is much better.
Food's much better.
Food's much better. Can you see? Suddenly 2, 3 things just, clock up to say, I must now find a university locally so I can study here. Food is much better. I might wash the clothes and things like that and clean up a little bit more so I can sit in a clean house. Yeah? Nangi is also here so I can fight with her when I need to. Or at least she has somebody to fight with, right? Yeah. So each person reasons things out and there's no one right answer. There's no one right answer. Now I know a boy who doesn't want to leave home because he wants to be with mom, but the dad's situation is such that he has gone and found a job in Townsville. Where's Townsville? It's in Queensland, north of Queensland somewhere. In some remote place, right? Some 300 miles north of Queensland somewhere. Yeah. So I asked him why he wants to go there. He said, Bante, if you want the official answer, he said, I want to go and help the Aboriginal people. The university there, and all the field work is to work with the Aboriginal people out there because there's quite a lot of people. And they said, but if you want the honest inside answer, I just want to get a break from Tati. But didn't want to admit it. Fair enough. But he shouldn't feel that way though. Shouldn't feel that way. But a lot of children may have that secret nature inside. And you yourself need to personally understand what it is and how to deal with that. But it's an important thing about understanding what you are to be and how you are going to be that. Right? What you are to be and how you are going to be that. Now, I've had these discussions in Sydney, in Queensland, in Perth, I've had it in London, I've had it in the States, and it hasn't been many different questions being raised as well, because this has been the experience of many children, right? And not only just Sri Lankan children, but either the national, whatever the culture had been, the nationality had been. There were children who came and said very similar things. Very similar things. So to me, I don't class it as just Sri Lankans living abroad. No. And I don't class this as a Buddhist activity as well. All children in this world have to experience this, independent of a religion. what religion brings us and what these institutions bring us is the morality that you need to and the ethics that you need to conduct yourself within. So you can then safeguard some of your culture, some of your heritage, some of whatever the lineage or the values that the family brings. Because you should not bring no discredit on them, dishonor on them. Right? So, now that you all are living in Australia, the legislative need to be 18 and take some responsibility is not that you get a passport to do a lot of things. You only get the passport to take on the legislation and learn how it applies to you now and not to a guardianship. So the responsibilities on the guardianship of your legislative activity or your commitment is lesser, and you take full brunt. If you get caught doing something that is against the law, you could be put behind bars. Otherwise, you are taken to juvenile court and the parents could go behind bars. And this is why the parents have been so strict on you all, not wanting to misbehave at all. The legislation, if you are under 18, is that the parents are taken to court to question as to why they allowed you to behave that way. So now you know why parents have been strict. Yeah? They didn't want to go to court. And I think this must be explained to all children. If they misbehave and they do whatever, the parents are the people who should carry the legislation. And they may not want to take the legislation. So the first thing to do and the best thing to do is to be strict around you and give you lesser space to make a mistake. But if you explain to them, and if you all were told this, you would have been different, right? Yeah, safeguarded because you never wanted them to have this. Now, after saying this, there are certain things. I was counseling a family out in Sydney, two girls in a family. And since the day the sister came to be, I think she has a 5-year gap between the two or whatever, she has been feeling jealous of the sister, younger sister. So the elder sister has been trying to do certain things or whatever. And then the mother used to work odd hours. And because she worked odd hours, the elder sister was asked to look after the Nangi because it was night time and she just to put to bed and be in the room together and things like that. So the commitment was such that she looked after, but she always had an issue with this. Not only that, when the mother came home, the father and the mother had a relationship, and in that relationship, the mother liked the father to dominate in a way at home. So she was a very timid individual, accepting the fact that whatever the father screamed and shouted and whatever, she liked it and she did it. That was her nature. Though the daughter didn't like that. Daughter didn't like the father screaming and shouting and talking to the wife in that way, which was her mother. So the day she became 18, she took on board the responsibility to tell dad where he should stand on a legislative note, saying that you should not speak to mom at that way. Now he as a husband was only dealing with the wife, but here the daughter is saying, my mother is such, I don't like you as a father talking to your wife, who is my mother, in this way. So when she spoke for the second time, the father said, don't talk like that because Amma and I don't have a problem. Now the daughter had a problem with the father talking like this in that way. So next thing is that the heatedness had got to such extent that the child had been hit by the father. She was 18 plus. So the next thing she does is take the phone, right, dial. Is it 333 or whatever? Emergencies? What is it? Yeah? 300. She rings 000 and the cops come. So the cops come now to arbitrate on the issue. First thing is that they go to the mother, ask her for a statement. She says yes, the husband hit the child. The daughter is asked, she shows scars on the face, that the marks on the face that the father hit her face. So the next thing is the father is what? In remand. And only that evening, everything dawns on them of what they've done. The heated arguments were such that they had lost view of what was happening. So the wife is now looking for the husband and he's in remand. And now she realizes that it's a statement that put into remand. And the daughter was very happy. Why? She managed to get rid of the father. So now she feels that she has to protect the mother. So she takes on board what is called a doorman's role. Doorman. So she's a doorman. She's the one who goes to the door. She's the one who does everything. Ammi has to sit back and wait. So she's replaced part of the father's role, discarding the father. So waits a while. The next day they somehow get bail and get the father. Now the daughter is not allowing the father to come home. Why? Frightened that he'll hit again. This is just an exaggeration of the extension of the incident. So when this happens, the father has to go and stay with a friend. Yeah, this has happened, right? I'm telling you a true story, this happened. And it is still going on at the moment. So, like this, it went on and went on. And the mother is saying, the wife is saying for the husband to come home. The daughter is saying no. Not only that, the daughter at 18 is saying no. She has taken more board to drive. So she's now able to drive the sister to school and bring her back and do everything else as well. So she's now taken not only a doorman's role, a caretaker role. The duties of the father. So now they are not missing the father. So they put padlocks in their rooms and whatever, change the locks in the house, not allowing the father to come home. So when I counsel, I showed how this role and how this legislation had got to her head so much that at 18 that she can do anything. And what has done to the family. So now the father has been asked to come home, okay, and they are now trying to resolve a few issues. When I go to Sydney, I'm at, I think, 2 more counselings to overcome. But these are things that happen and you do not know that these things have happened inside. So 18 is not just a benchmark or just an age that you just get certain things free, but it is, I think, a role of responsibility that you get as a civilian. Civil legislation is given to you and you must know how to live the civil legislation and what to do with it and how to continue to respect the elders for who they are. And it doesn't give you a passport to drink or do anything. It doesn't. I think it takes away the passport to drink, because driving and doing anything with drinking causes you even more legislative jeopardy. No? Yeah. So Pata, being 18 is something that is so valuable in a way to understand of the responsibilities and the new roles you take in life, and understand what you want to see in the next 600 or so Sundays from now. You will be 30 or more if you're 20 now. And that will be at least over 2/3 of the journey gone, or half the journey gone. Huh? Don't know. Don't seem to understand adequate of what my life expectancy is, right? And gone beyond 30, right? To go beyond 60 is pushing at the moment in a healthy life. Everybody wants to live for 75? Yeah? Yeah. Everybody wants to see 75. So if that is so, 1/3 is gone. Or just over 1/3 is gone. Next third is to collect. And the last third is to spend it in bed. Just see how the exhaustion sets in and how the old age sets in. So if you live it knowingly, now much lesser things to happen. Okay? Right. So the time's gone about 2:10 or so, right? What I would like to do is to give all of us a break. Okay? So you all can go and have something to drink or whatever, go to the toilet, whatever. I would like to spend another hour or so with you all. Just going through that little leaflet, just reading 2 or 3 statements out of it and explaining how to use that leaflet going forward. And I think that you all should use this every day. Read it at least once every day. And I'll just show you, even if you read every other statement or so, that will then show you the practicality of this life that you're living and how to extract that practicality from your inside, and not just be a ritualistic practicing Buddhist, but a person who is doing something knowingly. Okay? So let's take about 15 minutes or so. If you can come here by 2:30, right? After having a drink and going to taking a natural break, we will go on till about 3:15, 3:20 or so, and then it's free for you all to be with me and your personal time from there. I'll be here as long as you'll want from there. Okay? So thank you for your listening. Thank you for participation.